Well, hello and welcome to the live show of Freedom News. I'm your host, and Jonathan, and I'm just my live show, first time going, so hopefully it works out. Of course, I'm not really expecting too many people first time, but we'll see what we get. Anyways, I'm here looking to discuss the current events concerning Canadian politics, particularly right now the Conservative leadership race. A few people have dropped out, Pierre Poilievre being one of them. Again, I know he was, of course, a huge favorite amongst the grassroots, including myself. As I've mentioned in a video I just previously uploaded earlier today, I'm actually quite glad he's now gone. I've read some things about him. His statements concerning another candidate for the leadership, Richard Dicary, or Decray, so it's nothing to pronounce. Richard is a strong social conservative from Quebec. Now, of course, all of you are saying, "Oh, Quebec's there from Quebec." Well, maybe not. We all know Canada hasn't had the best of luck with prime ministers from Quebec, but this guy definitely seems to be a strong, full spectrum conservative, very strong social conservative values, and of course this is what's getting him a lot of flack from his fellow conservatives, outright calling him a bigot and ignorant, such as coming from Pierre Poilievre and the likes of Aaron O'Toole and such, even Michelle Rempel, out against him just because of his Christian-based views, for saying that people choose to be gay instead of toting out that typical leftist propaganda that you're born this way. Well, I'm sorry, folks, but studies have shown that in cases of identical twins where there is one particular twin who is gay, the other one is straight. Now, last time I checked, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. Lost my train of thought. Anyways, of course, you were saying that you're not born gay, you choose to be gay. And then, of course, the studies that have seen of identical twins where one's gay, one's straight. Well, of course, if you know in biology, identical twins is where you have one sperm fertilizes one egg, and they split. And of course, that's where your DNA and everything. So it's each now fertilized egg has its own separate entity, its own separate individual, is still a carbon copy of each other. Where it's not like the fraternal twins where two eggs are dropped and each get fertilized, but two separate, one sperm per dropped egg. It's one egg fertilized by one sperm. It's identical twins. So you can't have one gay, one straight if it's up to genetics, because they share the same source for DNA. It really debunks that whole concept. And for the evolutionists out there, this is problematic because if it was part of the human genome way back when, then according to Darwinism, it should have been wiped out long ago thanks to natural selection. Of course, so as I was like myself, a creationist, raises the issue of, how could a loving God design people to have characteristics that he deems sinful? I mean, that's kind of goes against that whole concept. So, every religion out there, the religions of the world out there, have take issue with homosexuality. I think the only one that I know of that probably more likely doesn't is Wiccan, and all that stuff's witchcraft. So, can't really call that much of a religion per se. I mean, it's all based on paganism and everything. With the big monotheistic religions, all agree that it's a sin. So, like it is. But no, I mean, it's so yeah. I'm sorry, but science has backed it up. Regardless of your religious views, science has backed it up. It's impossible. Otherwise, you'd have a case of identical twins, both be straight or both be gay, not one way, one the other. They just determined to call a bunch of Canadians, particularly Christians, who acknowledge this biological fact as bigots is totally unbecoming of anyone hoping to be a leader of this party or alone in this country, or even just a member of parliament, legislature. That is what I would call being un-Canadian. It's not a bigoted view; it's a highly accepted view. And that's something I have noticed lately, especially as the wrapping up of the 2019 election, is this huge attack on social conservatives, Christians, or Jews, people who have, strongly believe in the traditional Judeo-Christian values that founded this country and want to see this country return back to those values. Which, why is that all of a sudden a evil thing? I mean, it's not. It's what our founding fathers believed, what our founding fathers founded this country on, and everything. That's what's made this country so bloody great in the first place. We should be embracing that. But all of a sudden, we're the evil ones. Yet they'll embrace people like Sir John A. Macdonald and the other founding fathers of our country, though they founded this country on the views that they've been deemed so terrible, so horrendous. You can't have it both ways. So I'm quite frankly sick and tired of these fake, red Tory conservatives. They're called social conservatives and everything, but they're not. Conserving our way of life. And part of our way of life is our Judeo-Christian values that, again, this country was founded upon, Western civilization was founded upon. And they want nothing to do with that. They're progressives through and through, or as I prefer to call them, regressives, because, life, other than, the ancient Israel, this world was chaotic until Christianity came along in the first century. I'm not counting, whatever happened after 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea, things got really out of whack there. But the whole notion of ending actually all forms of bigotry. Paul himself wrote, referring to the body of Christ, there's neither Jew nor Greek, rich or poor, bond nor free, male or female, we are all one in the body of Christ. Doing away with racism, sexism, discrimination based on your eco status in the then Roman world and such, and even before the Romans, going from Egypt and any civilizations that existed before prior to Egypt, all the way up to the Roman world, Babylon, the Persians, the Greeks. It was chaos. It was vile and disgusting and barbaric for a period of time. Before Christianity got perverted. So we're talking about during that time that existed in the first century and a bit into the second century. Before Constantine got his claws in it, and those that met at the Council of Nicaea decided to bend the knee to the pagans to appease them, to try and become the state religion of the new Roman Empire. Christianity was doing a lot of good for the world and such, and took it's about 2,000 years. They're calling it back. So through the Reformation and such, it wasn't necessarily reforming what was changing the original Christianity. It was actually changing this perverted Christianity back to the principles laid out in the book of Acts and the epistles of Paul and the other apostles. But yeah, so I mean, it's done a lot of good. To just simply toss it aside and everything, I want to basically revert back to those old ways, to those old ideas and such. The perversions that go along with it, everything is disgusting and shouldn't be embraced by anyone. I'd say Christianity is the truly progressive, if you want to use that term, viewpoint. So, I mean, that's my take on that. Also, of course, Harper has stepped down from his position on the board of the fund, a branch of the Conservative Party. This opens him up to publicly back a candidate or possibly even run himself. We'll see how that plays out. A lot of people are musing that him stepping down from the fund was to block Jean Charest, possibly. Either way, Jean Charest is no longer running. Again, a good thing. I mean, this guy as a lawyer is helping Huawei negotiate the whole Ming garbage and to get them to enable them to actually help them to lobby our government to get them to build our 5G network, which, let's be honest, I don't think much lobbying is going to be needed. I think Trudeau is going to build it, infiltrate our national security and destroy our country, go right ahead. Because ultimately that's what Trudeau wants, is to destroy Canada. He's not interested in building Canada up. He's interested in only doing one thing, destroying it, making it more easy for us to succumb to his master, George Soros, and the globalist elite. I mean, eventually the world's headed to a one world government anyways, after the church is taken out of here. But, that doesn't mean we have to have Canada play a huge part in rushing headlong towards it. We can, fight to make sure that Canada's on the right side of the resistance against it, and a safe haven between now and then for those who don't want anything to do with this nonsense. When other countries fall away, they can come to countries like Canada, and hopefully, and of course currently the United States. Despite what the Democrats are currently doing down there, running roughshod over this witch hunt of a trial. So that's, of course, that. Not much else new. I mean, of course, you got Peter MacKay and Aaron O'Toole and a bunch of others condemning Richard on this. So they're all going to be out in my books. And anyone else that's coming down on him and social conservatives is out in my books. What anything to do with them will not give them even a second, third, fourth, whatever option on the ballot, because it is, of course, a ranked ballot. Apparently there are other social conservatives that are running. I'll be looking more into them, find out who they are, where they stand, if they truly are indeed social conservatives, if they're strong. One thing about Richard is, I don't know if it's basically his weakness a bit in English, but he doesn't seem that confident in dealing with in a way, there's definitely a sense of confidence. It must be his English skills. And these English skills need to improve a bit to show that he can handle his own with the English media. Because, of course, they're just as bad, if not worse, than the French, I'd say. So there's that he has going for him. He needs to work on. But I mean, this guy's I believe he comes from the business sector. I know he's worked with Harper in the past, involved with what's it called, their World Vision Canada. So he has So he does have some experience. Like I said, I believe he has come from the private sector as well. There's a rookie MP, Conservative MP running, Derek Sloan. Now, I don't know much about him, although I found it interesting that a rookie, a first-timer MP, is throwing his hat in the ring to lead the party that he's just got elected into Parliament under. Don't know if that's ever happened before in Canadian history, but anyone knows of another time that has happened and been successful, or even maybe not successful, it's just first time it's happened. Be sure to just let me know in the comments. Definitely kind of keep an eye on him. That's kind of interesting. I don't know exactly where I stand on whether I support him or disagree with him, but interesting to say none the least. I kind of think of Richard Dukari so far as perhaps a social conservative version of Maxime Bernier. Now, saying that, I'm hoping that should he end up losing, which, let's be honest, the potential, that he doesn't pull a full-blown Maxime Bernier, leave the party and form his own and whatnot, and run against us in the election, even if someone who I cannot stand or cannot respect, they're calling out people like myself, bigots and such, becomes leader. You just don't do that. I mean, the end goal, of course, is to get rid of Justin Trudeau, but I think those calling for this guy to step down or be forced out of the running are disgusting. Let the party have their say. If the party truly finds these persons views vile, they'll say so. As Richard's campaign chair, Brad Trost, who is also a very strong, outspoken social conservative, outspoken Christian himself, who ran in the leadership race in 2017 and came out fourth, has said, let free speech prevail. And I agree. The party will decide, in the end, who their leader is. I think we need to educate ourselves exactly where these candidates stand, what they have said in regards to people such as ourselves, social conservatives, how much they've said things against us. We should take that into account. Like, do we really want someone representing this party who does not represent us? In fact, finds us, vile and just, there for votes and that's it. They're just sucking at us for votes, or we matter. I will not support someone who's just sucking at their teeth for votes. It's disgusting. I think we need to make our voices loud and clear and strong and tell them, listen, we will not tolerate this backlash. We won't tolerate this intolerance against us any longer. We're here and we're going to stay, whether you guys like it or not. And we have a voice and we're going to have it raised, and you just got to put up with that. Respect that. I always felt that social conservatives are the conscience of the party, the heart and conscience of the party. We already have a really good, strong set of ethics, etiquette, and such. We're supposed to. The thing with Scheer was, going through some people for a spin. But in all reality, it falls within the rules. And what happened fell within the rules of the party, governing the party and everything. So, already no harm, no foul as far as that is concerned. He broke no Election Canada laws, broke no bylaws of the party. People are pissed off, but you know what? It's the party. Should have done your research at the convention in Halifax and amended to have the such things changed. You didn't like it. Don't cry now that you've that you've gone and let the milk be spilled. You should have done something to prevent it in the first place if you didn't like it. About Canadian politics in general, of course, now the House is going to resume on Monday, the 27th. We'll see what goes on there. Trudeau's, of course, been busy spending our money, acting like a drunken sailor out in Costa Rica, as such. And of course, saying, Canada's going to pay out money to the families who lost their loved ones in that when the plane was shut down by Iran. Yes, of course, sympathies go out to the families and all that. obviously. I mean, these were Canadians that died, and even still, even if they weren't, they're fellow human beings that died, and the families are grieving, and so basically, well, condolences for sure. But for compensation, for us to pay compensation, when it wasn't our fault, this is the fault of the Iranian government. I did this on purpose. No one should be buying this accident crap. And to put even partial money, even just 0.00.1, 0.001% of the blame on Trump, the United States is like garbage. They had every right to for that airstrike to take out that terrorist. He attacked a U.S. embassy and killed some of their own people. He deserved to die. So that's. Everything also the fact that this guy is a terrorist. He's a head of the Quads, which is part of the IRGC, which only the Quads have been listed as a terrorist organization by Canada. The whole IRGC needs to be listed as a terrorist group, which of course the Conservatives have called for. And I agree with wholeheartedly. So we're going to be paying out. Who knows now the amount of dollars? And of course, he does this, set this up when Parliament's not in session, so he doesn't have to, listen to the parties on this one, the rest of Parliament, take their concerns into account, which is showing that he doesn't give a damn about Parliament. Talking about being in contempt. They say that Harper was the first Prime Minister to be found of contempt of Parliament. Well, from my understanding, that's just a bunch of the opposition parties saying, "Oh, you're in contempt, you're in contempt." Well, sorry. Saying something doesn't make it so. I don't recall an actual ruling from a speaker saying you're in contempt. But this definitely, in my opinion, would be if you could say be contempt. That shows contempt, shows a complete lack of contempt, complete contempt, a lack of regard for Parliament and the wishes of the people, and bypassing democracy altogether. This is completely ridiculous, unfounded, and has no business in a democracy. He should not be able to. Of course, he's done this before. He just tweeted out $50 million of our money like that to his idiot friend Trevor Noah. Didn't run things through Parliament whatsoever. Just done. No, that's not how things work in a democracy. You go to the people. It's our money in the first place. Our representatives have a right to speak our voice to these issues. So that's what we got. We all know this. He's an idiot and a monster, a tyrant, and needs to be put down one way or the other. I really, at this point, don't care which. I've got at least one person viewing. You let me know if there's any lag, buffering, or anything. How's the quality? For mine, everything seems fine, so I'm hoping it's all great on your end. We'll see how things go in the United States. I'm pretty sure Trump's going to walk on this one. If I understand, it comes down to Congress, which is controlled by Republicans. Also, the Democrats need 4 Republicans to vote in their favor for witnesses and such. I doubt it's going to happen. So I think this is going to be squashed pretty quick. They've got 24 hours in total. They can break that up over of course, a few days, I guess, to make their case, and the Republicans have 24 hours in the same likewise manner to bring their case. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. Democrats really don't have much of a case at all. Hearing what the Republicans have to say is going to be quite interesting and I think quite illuminating indeed. I don't know. Things are kind of just getting started with this new parliament, so there's not much to go on. No one's really commenting in the chat, so this is my first full actual live broadcast. It didn't quite, go as planned. See how things go. Maybe we'll get a bigger audience next time. We'll find a better time to do it. I had, of course, someone interrupt me earlier, which was annoying. Maybe I'll make a sign, do not disturb. Should be able to hear my voice and know that, maybe I don't want to bug him. It's like, anywho. So we'll try this again later. I'll find a better time, work out the schedule and such. So hopefully get more an active live show. But that's all for now. Again, keep in mind the leadership race and such, and how Parliament ensues come Monday. I'll catch you guys later. I'll keep an eye out for my next video and my next live session. That's it for now. God bless.